This video is to introduce the characters for Chinese Made Easy Lesson 15, Jobs. The first character you have to trace is the yi in yi sheng for doctor. Yi alone means medical. It has the arrow radical inside a three-sided box. We've seen the arrow radical before in the character duan for short. The arrow radical is in the character for doctor because the doctor helps you if you're shot with an arrow, or the doctor shoots diseases with medicine arrows. The next character you have to trace is 家庭主妇, which means homemaker or housewife. The first characters are 家庭. 家 means family, and because Chinese likes things to be two syllables, 家庭is the way you say family with two syllables. Ting alone means courtyard. That's why it has the shelter radical. The inner part is the sound. The word for family is 家庭, family courtyard, because in some parts of China, families used to live in four-sided compounds with courtyards. Continuing, the word 家庭主妇 for housewife or homemaker. The next characters are 主 and 妇. 主 means master, and 妇 means wife. Wife is a combination of the woman radical and the broom radical, because the wife would work keeping the house clean. Here the student has illustrated it where she's moved on from a broom to a vacuum. The character broom, we've seen this like backwards comb shape before in hand holding a stick in the character for lawyer. That's going to come up again later in this PowerPoint. The next character is Shang. We see that in 商人, businessman. Shang means to do business. It's also the character for store. The way I remember it is pretty racist. Remember Tom and Jerry? And they would do different countries, and this was their very racist picture of an Asian person? I kind of see that in the character for Shang. So you have a hat with a spike on it, and then you have slanted eyes, and then you have like a Fu Manchu mustache, and then the mouth. And that's how I remember the character for Shang. The next character is 律师 for lawyer. The character 律 for law has the step radical in it, and then the hand holding a stick, which is symbolized by the line through the broom radical, and two lines written beneath it. So instead of a broom, it becomes a hand holding a stick writing something, writing two lines. To step according to what is written is to obey the law, and that's how we make the character law. 律师 lawyer. The next character is 银行, which means silver store or a bank. Yin means silver, it has the metal radical, and then it has the right half of 很 for very, because we all want very much silver. And then 行 for store looks kind of like a stack of things, a storage of shelves full of silver. The next character you have to trace is the fu in 大夫. 大夫is another word for doctor that we haven't practiced much. 大夫literally means big man, so fu alone means man. 大, the character we've seen before, is 大 for big. This is an alternate pronunciation. And then fu is a word for man or husband. And what it is, it's the big character for a man standing with his arms out, a big man. And then he has this top line through that symbolizes the hairpin. That means that he's an adult and he has his hair tied up. So that's why this character means man. The next character is hu, to protect. Part of 护士, a nurse, because the nurse protects your health. It has the hand radical and then the hu sound. 护士, the second half of 护士is 士, which means scholar. We learned this radical at the beginning of the year. The next character is 司 for driver, part of 司机. And my student has illustrated for us as an angry man screaming. And the last character is the ji of 司机. This ji means machine, because the driver drives the car machine, and it combines the wood radical with the ji sound, like we see in ji. So here's a wooden machine to help you remember. We also see this character in 手机, cell phone, hand machine.